So we're checking out in the self checkout. This man walks up to us. My back is turned. He says to us, I just want to get to know you ladies because I needed y'all to help me with something. Yeah, I needed y'all to help me with something. So I turn around and he looks at my badge and he realizes it's not the same school badge that she has on. He thought we were both teenagers, but she noticed it. She was like, "No, mom, something's up with him because he's been looking at us, since we came to the checkout line." And then I had to have that conversation. Well, we got the same hips. You're a little bit more endowed here than me. So he saw something that he was attracted to. So right there in Walmart, I had to have that conversation.
It was more his friends that would approach approach me and say, you need to change clothes, or
Mm.
you should do this, or you should do that. And I'm like, what? If my husband doesn't have a problem, you shouldn't have a problem.
What's up, everybody? My name is Mel, and welcome to Life Coaching by Mel. Here at Life Coaching by Mel, we speak truth regarding the nuclear family. And if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get each and every one of my videos. Hit that like button for me. Hit me in that comment section. Today is going to be an invigorating conversation that I know you want to contribute to. And be sure to share this with at least one person. Let's get into today's topic. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have a panel for you all. And the panel is going to be amazing. I have a new daughter. I have a brand new baby girl. She's 2 months, and I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of information I need. I need to get inside the mind of women because this conversation today is about modesty. And if you guys know, it's a lot of craziness going on, in my opinion, at least, regarding the way modern women dress, the way women dress overall. We got a lot of role models out there. Angel Reese being one of those. If you guys seen the most recent viral photos of her. Coco Jones. We got a lot of people who we look up to that are doing great things in their industry. However, what they posting online raising some eyebrows for me. So today, I have an amazing panel for you all. These ladies have a lot of great things to say. And we're going to introduce them right now. We're going to get it right into the conversation. We're going to go from left to right from what I see here. Ladies, please introduce yourself and answer this for me. Who or what was the biggest or has been the biggest influence on the way that you dress, and what about them or that made such an impression on you? We're going to start with Sharitha.
Hey, I remember to unmute. Hey, my name is Sharitha. I currently reside in a suburb on the outskirts of Atlanta. And in general, I'm just passionate about working with women and overworked mothers and caregivers so that we can all, raise our vibration on all fronts: financial, health, spiritual. I would have to say my mother was the biggest influence. My mom, she was a pretty slender woman back, when I was in high school. So I would just occasionally raid her closet. But I still think that I had my own style, which was actually no style at all. But I'm really not a keep up with the Joneses type of a person. I just kind of landed in my own lane. So I typically just buy or wear what I like, on the rare occasion that I do shop for clothes. So that's pretty much it. My mama.
Gotcha. All right, Joy.
I was about to forget to to unmute myself. So my name is Joy, and I am a mom of a little boy who's 12. So I'm interested in this conversation too. I'm an attorney. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm also a data risk and privacy business consultant. And yeah, I've got lots of sisters and nieces. So this is quite an interesting conversation to have. For me, initially, it was my mom. And it wasn't really about just how she dressed when I was a little girl. It was how she dressed for herself. Right. It was really watching her. It wasn't the dressmaking, or it was her making the outfit, and just how she carried herself in it. And I just thought, I love that. It was not about what other people were wearing. It was just like she would put her outfit together, she'd get her hair done, nails done, and I just thought, oh, that's awesome. And then I kind of followed that as I got older, just kind of learned what my style was and what I like to put on, and realized that a lot of the women who were confident in the way they carried themselves, it wasn't really about the cut. It wasn't really about what was in or out. It was really about they just walked gracefully. It's just I watched them and they didn't have to expose any part. It was just they loved what they were wearing, they carried it well. And I thought, till this day, that is it for me. It could look great in a model, but I look at it and go, that's not for me. I need to put it on and feel like a certain thing with that outfit. And I keep asking myself, why am I putting that on? When I start considering other people's notions, then it's like, no, that's off. That's off. So, but yeah, so it was my mom, and then just watching other women whom I do see the way they carry themselves in outfits that they pick, whether it's a turtleneck dress all the way to the bottom, doesn't matter. They look really amazing in it because of the way they carried that outfit. So
Nice. Kristen.
Hey everyone, so I am Kristen Brown. I have a salon in Georgia. I specialize in sister locks. Sharitha is one of my clients, so that's pretty much what pretty much what I do. And then I'm a cosmetology student, so that I can add on all those additional services. Okay, so as far as my role model, I just kind of picked from here and from there. So I grew up in Church of God in Christ, and they was all over the place, the hats, the everything, and the convocations, all of that. So I just started seeing how the younger women dress, because we weren't stuck to, you can't wear red nail polish and you can't do this, you can't do that. So I saw like how they started bringing more freedom into the traditional wear, and I really liked that. And then when I went to college, I saw how the college women were, especially like the natural styles. And I even would like get fashion out of magazines and, just say, okay, I like how they would piece, the tops and the shoes and the purses and all of that together. And then of course I put my budget friendly twist on it. But really just finding what I like, because even how Joy was saying, you might go to the mall and you'll see something on a mannequin, and I've noticed how people might copy everything on the mannequin and it don't look the same on you. So just finding what looks good, tailored and neat, and just you can still be covered and stylish and all of that, and just be confident with that. And so I felt like that is what I picked from all of these different role models that I had. And it could just be somebody random walking down the street. It's like, I like how she carries herself. And so just picking that up, and then taking everything and making it my own.
Yeah.
Lovely. Unlike the Church of God in Christ skirts. Free.
Hello, everyone. I'm Free. I'm from a little bit small town, probably about 45 miles south of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm in executive HR leadership, and I would say I got my influence from my style and my dress from, believe it or not, my grandmother and my great grandmother. They were very modest, church going. I mean, like 4 or 5 times a week, church going ladies, and they believe in modest dress. My great grandma made my clothes as a little girl all the way up until I was 12, my ribbons, everything. And they just believed in just dress classy for the environment you're in. Of course, when I went off to college, my style evolved a little bit more because they said, well, you get your own four walls and you can dress how you want to. So I kind of explored a little bit more with my dress there, because I learned that, you can play a little bit more with your clothes. You can, believe it or not, wear a little bit less, wear a little bit more, but you can always put something on to meet the environment you're in and be respectful to whoever you are around. And that I kind of carried that on with me into my time now, whether it's me going to an executive meeting, or whether it's me going out with my stepdad for my 40th birthday, or even with my son. I just am mindful of who I'm around in that environment and dress for the environment to express myself. And like Joy said, be confident in what I have on. If it looks good on me and I'm confident about it and I wear it well, it fits well, I try to make sure that those are the clothes I wear.
Lovely. Amanda.
Hey, hey. Um, I'm a mom. First of all, I tell people I have kids all over the spectrum. I have one in college, one in high school, one in junior high, and one in elementary, and the last three are all girls. As far as fashion, a lot of it came from my father. My father's in the gospel music industry. My dad's one of the Williams brothers, so I got to see a lot of the background of like getting the outfits, getting the arguing over the suits and things like that. And my mom had like a whole lot of influence over that. They used to call my mom Felicia Rashad, because she was like she's that girl. And I used to be like, she's got on so many clothes. Like, why does she do so much? And back then I was thinking, because I'm a teenager, I'm like, she's got a really nice shape. Like, why is she not showing it? But as I get older, I see modesty. So I'm into fitness and I feel like I have a really nice shape. But I just remember those conversations with my parents and my dad telling me how I shouldn't walk out the house, or what I would, what people would think of me if I had on a certain outfit, or, him saying stuff like, you should be able to leave wherever you are and go to any function in any outfit, and it shouldn't matter. If you can't wear what you have on to a meeting or to church, then you probably shouldn't have it on. So I think about that a lot. Now I think about those conversations with my father when I'm putting things on in the morning, because I'm in banking now. And we can dress a little casual. I'm coming from retail management. So it's a transition. So I'm just like, think about what my father said. Is this classy? Can I leave here and go to church? Can I wear it to a meeting? And then even to this day, if you bring up my mother's name, the first thing that they say is that, oh, Billie Jean, she could dress. I want people to say that about me. I don't want to be known as the girl who just, oh, she had a nice shape, but who cares about that in our 40s? We want to be known for something. And so that's what I think about when I step out. So a lot of times I will step out and I'm dressed to the T with like up to my neck with big bows and big sleeves and big pants, and I get the most attention like that, as opposed to a skin tight dress with every curve showing. And I might get the attention with the curves, but it's not the same attention. It is not the same attention. So my parents and all the other gospel groups that I saw with the coordinating suits, the matching bow ties and all of that. So yeah.
Man, the Williamsburg has some hits now. My favorite was "Sweep Around
Yeah.
Your Own Front." That's my one right there. Anyway, let's go on.
Okay.
Malika.
Hi, my name is Malika. I'm an Army brat, so I consider Washington State my home. I relocated to the Dallas Fort Worth area, so Texas is now my home. Uh, I would say I got my style. Originally, I liked her aesthetics, was my kindergarten teacher. I mean, she had a short haircut, and I just remember she always had nice makeup and she always had her nails done. Eventually, I started to kind of like the aesthetic of my fourth grade teacher. She was a German lady. Her name was Frau Österreicher, and she dressed modest, but she was bad. I mean, she had the bell bottom pants on, and she was super modest. So, I am completely opposite when it comes to modest. I don't dress modest. I guess you can say the reasons why I don't do it is because a lot of body shaming took place in my family and just throughout life, and I developed really early, so I was always shameful always covering up. Now I'm like, this is what I am. This is my body. I'm gonna wear it. It is what it is. However, I am mindful of certain things because I have a son that's 23. He's in the military. So if I go somewhere with him, I'm not gonna just put on anything because I think about those certain things. And I also think about unnecessary, unwanted attention. So I guess it's kind of based off my audience. Like I wouldn't wear certain things to church. I'm still mindful of things like that. But for the most part, I do flaunt it. And it's not something that I do like intentionally, like, oh, I'm putting this on today for this. It's just I wanted to wear it. I like it. I felt like I looked nice in it at the time. I'll wear it. It's the truth.
Hey, and it says you free. No pun intended. Free.
It was liberating. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's liberating, and then I just lost 50 pounds, so I'm kind of extra with it sometimes too.
Okay.
So I'm happy about that. But like I said, I do try to be mindful of my audience as well. If I'm going somewhere, if I'm going to church, if I'm going to a meeting, and I know certain people will be there, I do try to be respectful of others. If I feel like it may offend them in a way, but then I also have my moments, my Libra scale ways, and I'm like, you know what? If the size of my breast bothers you, that's not my business. So I struggle.
I hear you on that for sure. Tamara.
Hello. Well, I am originally from Florida. I am a Southern Belle at heart. But I'm right now in New York, cold as hell. Excuse my French, but we ready to go. Okay, we ready to go. I want to go back down south. Style. So my style went through so many phases. I think one, my mom. My mom used to pick out our clothes up until I was like 10 or 11. And I remember the day she told me like we had to start picking out our own clothes, and I panicked. I was like, oh my God, how am I supposed to do this? Like, even though you've been doing it this entire time, I just got so used to her doing it. I think, and then around that time, I had hit puberty, and I realized I was becoming a little more shapely. So, kind of like Malika, like I was wearing stuff to where don't look at me, because clearly, if I had just regular jeans on, like a basic t shirt, I was getting attention. And I'm a very curvy woman. Like I have hips. Okay. My mom calls them gun holsters. Like that's how wide I am. Um, I had men tell me even before I even had kids, I had childbearing hips. Like it's just, my friends, it was so bad, y'all. I wore nothing but neutral colors: brown, black, navy blue. I had the most pair of black shoes. Like I never wore color because I didn't want any extra attention to myself. And then I got to a point where I was like, I guess I started building a little bit more confidence in myself in my 20s. And you start noticing certain actresses. Okay, Tracy Ellis Ross. I love her style because she was like covered up, but she gave you just a little bit of peekaboo. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the little bit of peekaboo. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little. I'm a crop top girl. I'm a crop top girl. I'm probably gonna be a crop top girl all my life, but I do it. This is a crop sweater, but you can't. I'm covered, but I'm cute with it. But like Tracy Ellis Ross, Angela Bassett, like I did realize I kind of looked to women that had style, but they were like predominantly covered. And that's what I like because I feel like I can play up my curves now. So I'm modest. Like even like I have two girls and a son. And even with them, like they love dresses, but I'm very like, if you're gonna wear a dress and now that it's cold, you're gonna put stockings. Can I see your panties through those stockings? We putting some shorts on. Like I'm that mom. So I'm very particular about how I dress and how I dress my girls. They look like little girls. We're not doing like crop tops or anything. They're completely covered. And they know there's just certain things that you shouldn't show. Now, I'm a fitness girl. I work out. And I think now that I have gotten a little bit more confidence about myself, okay, you go get some peekaboo. Okay, like I said, you gonna get some stomach. You gonna get maybe a little hip action. But my assets are covered. Okay, so again, I think this just you can be stylish without giving away too much, and you can play up your curves without doing too much, but it's okay to give a little peekaboo, I feel. Okay. But that's me.
80-year-old Tamara with crop tops. Let's look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. Bridget.
Hey, okay, I'm Bridget. I live downtown Atlanta, but I am in Virginia right now visiting my parents. Um, I grew up on a farm in the country, and but my aunt, she was this glamorous lady, and she worked at the bank, and she married a minister, and I used to just look at her like, wow.
Mhm.
And then she was always dressed to the nines. She carried herself well. She was very confident, and confidence is something that all women should wear, regardless of what you have on. I used to cut out paper dolls. I don't know if y'all ever did this. When I was a child, like a little girl, I played with Barbie dolls, but I used to cut out paper dolls with fashion and place them on something like a person that I had already cut out as well, and change up the outfit. So I always loved fashion. Later on, I got into the fashion industry. I owned a couple of boutiques in Atlanta, and I'm kind of like, I'm not conservative at all. I wake up, one day I may wake up and say, oh, I want to dress in all black today and have my hair up with a big top hat, something like that. The next day I may just want to put on some jeans and a t-shirt and keep it moving. But back to, I think, Tamara, you said this, you get more attention when you dress down.
Mm.
Did you,
And that's all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I could leave the gym soaking wet with some gym clothes on and a t-shirt, hair looking crazy. And I
Same.
get attention. Yes,
Same.
I don't.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I can be, I don't know. It's however I feel when I wake up, but I do like Tracy Ellis Ross, like you, Angela Bassett, designers. I love a Rico Chappelle, a Lafayette Brazil, a Alice and Olivia. I love all of those designers, Balmain, all of those. But I can still go to Marshall's and put something together that looks like those designers, okay?
Love it, love it. There's a reason why men prefer the dress down look. Fellas, if you're watching this, hit us in the comment section. Let them know exactly that reason. But we're going to move on to our next question. And we're going to start this question with Joy. What age is appropriate for a girl to begin to dress more revealing? And why do you believe that?
No age. I say this because the key part is she's a little girl. If we're going to guide her through life, if we're saying you don't even know yourself, like, let me introduce you to yourself, let me help you find yourself, then why does she need to reveal any part of her to anybody? And so, to my point, my whole bit is, you're a little girl. You're supposed to be discovering who you are, your body, all the changes that you're encountering. Learn about you, find your identity, find yourself in your space in this world and what you're called to do and what you aspire to do. That should be your focus. When you become a young woman and you start getting more introduced to maybe the corporate world or the society around you in college and all of that, yes, that's when you're free to learn and make mistakes and find what suits you. Your body has gone past puberty. Right now you're saying, okay, how do I feel? How do I want to present myself? Then you can do that, right? But when you're a little girl, you're a little girl. So I don't think between that age of 10 to maybe 17, 18, before you go out to college, you still need a lot of guidance because you're still trying to find your space, find yourself and who you are. Apologize for the noise. You're still trying to say, who am I as part of this family unit? Who am I as part of the culture I'm growing up in, the society I'm growing up in, and who do I aspire to be? That should be your focus. So your outfit should be decent. Your outfit should be just, hey, I'm not trying to attract your attention, especially not in a sensual, lascivious way. That should not be your con, because when you get that attention, when you're still trying to find yourself, you're not going to know how to fit all of that into place. You don't know how to do that yet. So it is up to us as parents to guide the little girls. And I don't know if any of you ladies have seen recently, the last couple of years, I've been alarmed at the length of the dresses for prom. I've seen they can't even stoop, or they come out of the car and they can now the limo, and it's like, can't because it's really like micro minis. Or if it's really long and regal, then there's a split all the way down to the belly button. And I'm going, I'm sorry, how old are you again? So to my point is just no, you're a girl, stay a girl for as long as possible.
Can I chime in on that, Mel?
Well, write
Oh,
it down for me, Amanda. We want to be able to
okay.
get through everybody. We definitely gonna
Okay.
have time for rebuttal or follow up. Definitely. All right, Kristen.
I have to agree with Joy. It's really no age that a girl should be revealing herself. And we talking about a kid. They need to just be enjoying childhood and being a kid and having fun. Like the world already is trying to over sexualize kids at a young age, and so you just don't want to put them in that type of environment like that. So yeah, I definitely agree. Just let kids be kids.
No doubt. Free.
Um, I was taught get your own four walls and you can do what you want to do. And me personally, I moved off campus in college and had my own place at 19. 19 is when I started to wear more revealing clothing. Um, I believe if you can maintain your own home on a continuous basis, you do get the privilege of doing a little bit more than you could have done when you were a little bit younger, provided you follow some guidelines and some safety.
Absolutely. Now, Amanda, feel free to answer the question, but also you can do that follow up if you would like on your turn.
Um, I was about to say I have girls that are one that's about to turn 14 Sunday. One that is 15 that will turn 16 in January, one that's 9 that will turn 10 in December. So if you had asked me prior to them getting to this age, like what will you let them wear? It would have been totally different than where I am now. For me, I remember my father telling me, "You have a nice shape." Well, they made me feel like it was a curse. So then, um, I I think I over sexualized myself when I was able to. You know what I mean? So because I wasn't able, because when my parents were, and everybody else was pointing out my hips and my waistline and my curves, I was like, but I just want to play football. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't even thinking about it. So when my girls come in my room and my oldest daughter, who is a true introvert, homeschool, so confident in herself because that's what I teach them. I teach them confidence. They're all so confident. When she comes in my room and she has this outfit and it's got a little midriff, and I look at her and I see that she's confident in it, she's wearing it. If I know that she's not wearing it to impress, because she'll come in my room with this midriff, but her locks are just so untamed and uncombed because she don't care. you know, she just like her outfit. So I'm not gonna draw attention to the fact that it's midriff. Cause tomorrow she'll come in with a sweatshirt and jogging pants and locks in a bun, and she might have combed the locks up this time, and she can care less. So I don't think as parents we should put so much attention on that. And I'm saying that from experience because I didn't know I was fine until people started telling me I was fine, if that makes sense. I was a tomboy. I have the scars to prove it. Like all I wanted to do was play ball. It was the aunties and the teachers and my parents that were bringing all this attention to it, that made me feel like it was something wrong with me for one thing. I was like, I can't help this. But then the moment I was in my 20s, I used it. My girls, even though they have nice shapes, they don't care. And I want them to continue not to care. So when they bring outfits to me and they just happen to have a little midriff, but the pants are huge. They're not showing anything at the bottom. I'm not tripping on that. I think we as parents, we get paranoid. First of all, because we know what we've done. We know what's out there, but we know what we've done. So we get paranoid, and then we push that off on our kids. I'm not doing that. If you look cute in the midriff, you look cute in the midriff, and we cool. But the moment you put that on because you're trying to impress your little friends or a little boy, we got a problem. You gotta put something else on. So,
Mel,
I love it.
can I ask
I don't know.
we respond later? Just take
You
notes.
definitely can. You
Oh,
definitely
okay.
can. Take that
Okay.
note. I love it. Malika.
Hello. So even though I said earlier that I don't dress so modest, I'm old school. A little girl needs to be a little girl. I agreed a lot with Joyce had to say. I have a daughter. She's in her 20s, but however, I was very particular on how she dressed. I was mindful of things. I just believe that little girls should enjoy being a little girl. I mean, I see now girls they're like 11, 12 with long stiletto nails and just things I wouldn't even wear. Children should be
we're
children.
not doing that.
Yeah, children should be children. They should enjoy being a child and wear childlike clothes. And that's just my view on that with reference. And what the age should be, definitely 18 and younger, you should be mindful. And that's something that should be taught on what appropriate is. Because sometimes you may wear something that sends off the wrong message and you're in a certain setting. And even though it's not okay for certain things to happen, you just still have to, teach the young ladies to, be mindful and be safe. And just because you think it's cute because it's cute and it's fashionable, there's predators out there that think in a different way. So we have to be mindful and teach the young ladies that as well.
Got you. Tamara.
Uh, well, I'm a midriff girl, so this is gonna be hard for me to answer. I didn't really start showing my belly though, honestly, until I was about 19. I think that's when I was like, I had my own job. I was buying my own clothes. I was kind of like feeling myself a little bit. And I think every girl's going to go through that stage. I think the more you try to keep them covered, they're going to reach a point in their life where, like, hold up, I'm smelling myself a little bit, puberty hitting kind of right, and think clothes are fitting a little bit different. Now, I am kind of like, I feel like if my girls, I have elementary school girls, so they're young right now, but I know when they hit, I have a bonus baby. She's 11. So she's starting to, feel herself too. So when she comes during the summer, I'll never forget, like, they're into TikTok. Like a lot of the stuff that they're seeing, these girls are wearing crop tops and shorts. This is what they're seeing. And I even think about some of the cartoons that we used to watch. Like I was thinking about Brace Face when I was growing up. She had like her midriff was showing, and this is a cartoon, and she was a teenager. Like this was like normal. Like you start to show a little belly when you get older. We start to get our belly buttons pierced around, the teenage years. And I think this is just kind of like a natural thing that you kind of go through as a girl. But there is a way to go about it to where, you're still covered. Like if you're going to show belly, you don't need to be showing like all your legs need to be all like your shorts shouldn't be so short. Like maybe have your legs covered and then your belly. Or if you're going to be, have a full shirt on, you can have your legs out. But I think there just needs to be a balance of skin that's showing and it's not excessive. So I just think it's really when they hit the late teens, anything 18 older, when they start, buying their own stuff, they should have free will. This is when you're trying to figure out what you like, what your style is, what look good on you, what doesn't look good on you. And I don't want to hinder, my kids' style because that's a form of creativity too. That's how you figure yourself out and what works for you. Um, and I think too, because I came up from a Christian household where even wearing a spaghetti strap shirt was a problem. We weren't allowed to wear things that showed our shoulders off, which I think was ridiculous. I'm like, if a man's gonna get turned on by a shoulder, that's a him problem. That's not a me problem. So I think, learning how to figure out what's really my problem and somebody else's problem. Like as
long as I'm covered and I make sure my girls are doing all right. But to go back to my stepdaughter, she wanted to wear. We were going to the beach, and she had like this little top from her bathing suit, but she picked out these shorts that I thought, okay, ma'am, no, you're 11. We're not doing that. So I was like, let me go and see if I could find some different things that she had, and I found a pair of shorts that matched her outfit. They were longer. They came down to like a little bit above her knee. If you're gonna wear that little crop top, that's fine, but you're gonna be more covered up at the bottom. And she respected it. You know, she respects how she loves how I dress. So she kind of takes heed to what I'm saying. And it was cool. So it's okay. I think you just kind of pick and choose when to offer guidance when you see them kind of making a decision that, yeah, I don't feel like you need to be wearing that, type situation. So teens, late teens is when you can start figuring that out.
We need to figure your phone out. It just
I know,
failed.
right? I
But,
know, right? Well, you made me go to land.
You just dropped the mic constantly.
And also, you almost made me want to get Vera in here because her shoulders are off the chain. It go from like shoulder to neckline. It turns me on. But anyway, no, you talking about shoulder. But she told me to tell y'all how, by the way, too. I forgot to mention that earlier. We're gonna go to Bridget.
So I think I'm on the fence. I remember when I was a young girl in school. I grew up in a strict home. My dad was the main deacon in the church, and my mom was deaconess, and I don't know. They dressed me one way at school, but I would take a change of clothes to school and change. They found out and I got in trouble. But now, I was also a late bloomer. I didn't start growing breasts until probably 10th or 11th grade.
Bridget, I'm with you. I was about 15, 16.
Yeah.
I know.
Everybody. Girl, I was stuffing my bra because I wanted to. I wanted boobs.
You thought something was wrong. I'm like, what is wrong?
Like, why am I not growing? But now what I've noticed, girls that are 11, 12, they look like they 25. And I don't know if it's the food. I don't know what it is. But girls from my day, the body is totally different from today. So again, I'm on the fence. It's, I do feel like girls shouldn't try to grow up so fast, even though I did. But I also want them to feel free and, be who they really are, what they're, dress how you're comfortable. As long as they know the difference from being who they are and from looking like a slut. As long as they don't look like a slut, I'm good with it.
Love it. Sarita.
Hey. Okay, so for me, I guess to just be direct and answer the question, then I would have to say, ideally, once she's out on her own or mature enough to deal with whatever comes with what attire she chooses to use or to wear, because I think, as Malika and a couple of you have said, it's outright dangerous out here, and we can't ignore that. It's no secret that we are living in some pretty dark times right now, and I understand it's peer pressure for a lot of girls. As I can't remember who brought up and mentioned the TikTok thing, but they're competing. We as parents, are competing with all of these other factions, right? As far as and the pressures out there that drive the need for our girls to want to look a certain way. sometimes these girls, that's not even really what they want to do. They're dressing the way they're dressing because of societal and peer pressures. So, like I said, we're living in pretty dark times. I've never seen anything like this, right? It's serious with all of the kidnapping and trafficking, and it's just alarming. So, I guess I would have to ask what is meant by revealing, because this means something different to each person. As I've listened to you all, are we talking just scantily clad, cleavage, butt cheeks hanging out, or or just something similar to wearing like tights and v-necks or sleeveless, because just on a quick side note, and I'm sorry my light just went out, on a quick side note, like girls are raised from a very young age to garner the attention of the male. That's just real talk. And she observes her mother and possibly her grandmother and aunties and sisters too, if she has any, and she's watching them closely, right? She understands from toddler age how to grab the attention of or tap into the resources of the father figures in her life. So, daddy's girl. And, not to be too long-winded, but these behaviors are what drives the need for a lot of, girls and women to dress in a manner that will attract or evoke the response that she's looking for.
Yeah, and I will say I intentionally left that word revealing up for interpretation. So however you define it, definitely that's what the question was regarding. So thank you for that, Sharita. Now we have a couple of rebuttals, I believe. If y'all still have it, feel free. Joy, I think you had one for sure.
I was gonna say, for me, Amanda, to your point, I grew up a tomboy too. I played soccer with the boys, and I got the scratches in my legs, and at some point, my mom was like, "No, I know you're gonna hate this right now, but you will thank me when you stop getting all this on your legs and climbing the trees and battling the boys." It was just all of that, right? But then puberty hit, and then I got a 10 to 12-inch differential to my waist and my hips, and I was like, "What?" And the tattoos came in early, and I was like, and to your point, a lot of attention from the boys going, "Oh, what is that?" Right? And then the older men noticing the looks, right? And nobody had to say anything. I started noticing and becoming more conscious of that. So I totally understand, but the point is, I think from my point of view as a parent, is to make sure that your little girl knows why. The whole point is knowing why. So whatever age they're in, whether they're just going off to college, in high school, and we have to remember puberty is the biggest peer pressure moment. The kids are trying to be independent. Daddy and mommy, I love you. Just like Bridget said, they love you and they want you to dress this way, but you're like, oh, it's too stuffy. I want to be cool. I want to be in, right?
Right.
So the whole thing is the girls are going to try to experiment. That's fine. That's normal biologically. They're trying to kind of push the outer limits. They're trying to try different things. But my point is, if you're having a conversation with your little girl and you'd say, well, why do you want to show your midriff? Because I think it leads them to that introspection. And if I actually wear a full outfit, right? So it's not, I think the conversation needs to start earlier than when you start seeing them want to experiment and try these things, because then they can easily come to you and have these conversations, right? Or you can come to them and say, well, why do you want to do this, baby? And they don't feel judged. And they can actually say, well, I just think it's cool. My friend was wearing it. Yes, I think it's really cool. Then you can gauge, when you're a little girl, right? Okay, that's fine. But then there's the other side of it, right? Yes, to her, she's cute. She's wearing this thing, but there are eyes that are lurking, right? The way you present yourself, where you are, it garners attention, sometimes very unwanted attention, especially when those hips are coming out, those tatas are coming out. There are a lot of men that will look at that, or even young boys, and say, you're a woman, right? They can't distinguish. Not everybody has a self-control. So yes, it's true. They have two eyes. They can avert it to where they want, but they can choose not to. And now you've become this bait, right? Unintentionally. And so that's why I
Right.
think until a little girl knows her identity, knows who she is, how to carry herself, what it means to reveal flesh, skin, and what that can mean to another person,
Right.
because
Right.
even unintended actions have consequences. And I think having that conversation early, having them have that foundation, leads to more conversations as they go through the changes going on. Even the college time, then it wouldn't be a wild and out time. It would be an
Hmm.
exploration, but with caution. So
Right.
that's kind of the, the
And,
big
and
point I
and
wanted to make about that.
that's the conversation that I have with my friends. The I do have that relationship with my daughters. We have open dialect. We talk about everything. And like I said initially, when she comes to me, my 15-year-old, it's because she likes the outfit. The moment that I recognize that it's about something else, Houston, we have a problem. And we will have a problem if the outfit is too much. I've had to say something about that. Even tonight, like my daughter's turning 14, and she's been saving this shirt. Okay, well, we saved the shirt. When we started saving the shirt, we were a D. Now we got to have this triple D conversation because we don't look the same in the shirt. But to your point, Joy, I have those difficult, and the conversations are not difficult because I have that relationship with my daughters. Hey, um, that midriff is cute, and I recognize that you just wearing it because you think it's cute, but somebody may look at it and think it's, we talk about the whole pedophile thing. We talk about how men look at women inappropriately. I use myself as the muse. My 14-year-old, she hates like when we're out and somebody pays me some attention. Like she hates it. She's like, he was looking right at your butt. Like she's like a bodyguard. So I have to tell her, well, you have to understand, like no, y'all, it's terrible. She's crazy. But I have to explain to her it is not the easiest thing to do. Is that you kind of made up just like mom. Like your shape is just like mom. So the people that are attracted to mom are attracted to you. We were in Walmart the other day, and I work for a bank, so I had on my badge and my ID. She has on her badge and her ID, but it's from school. So I have my back turned, and from the back, I will say I don't look 45. I'll give myself that. I'm with my daughter. My daughter is about to turn 14, but she's 5'9". Yeah, her dad's 6'5". She's 5'9", and she's fully developed. And she bad. She just all of this, she is. So normally I'm aware of my surroundings, but I teach them to be. And like I said, she's my little bulldog. So we're checking out in the self checkout. This man walks up to us. My back is turned, and he says to us, um, I just wanted to get to know you ladies because I needed y'all to help me with something. Yeah, I needed y'all to help me with something. So I turn around and he looks at my badge and he realizes it's not the same school badge that she has on. He thought we were both teenagers. You know what I mean? And so his intentions were, but she noticed it. She was like, no, mom, something's up with him because he's been looking at us, since we came to the checkout line. And then I had to have that conversation. Well, he was looking at us because he didn't recognize my badge. He thought it was a school badge like yours. And we got the same hips. You're a little bit more endowed here than me. So he saw something that he was attracted to. So right there in Walmart, I had to have that conversation, you know, and I do that on a daily. And it doesn't matter when it is, in the car, in the grocery store, whenever. So I have that relationship with my daughters to where if she comes in here with a midriff on, I know it's because she truly likes the outfit and because she's not trying to impress a little boy. Now, I know to ask the questions when I feel like, why we doing this? You know, but I know for me, you know, when I put an outfit on and I felt good about it, my dad came at me from the preacher standpoint, and my mom came at me from the classy lady, you shouldn't do this. It just made me want to do it more. And like I said, it did. It made me want to do it more. And I will be honest with you, I didn't know I was fine. I cared nothing about it. I played basketball and football. I had one brother. We are 16 months apart. I did everything he did. Who cared about what my hips looked like? Like, you know, I didn't understand that football was just making my thighs thicker. You know, I didn't know. I didn't care. But if my father had sat me down and said, hey, look, I know you a tomboy, but just because you out here playing football, it's making your thighs thick. Boys kind of look at this, so you might not order. But what he did was, we talk about it because we're best friends right now. What he did was he would say stuff like, "You look like a slut walking out," and I'm like, "Well, I thought I looked good. I thought I looked good." So at 40 something years old, when I put something on or used to, I thought about that. But now I'm kind of like Tamara. I'm like, I mean, and look, if I want to wear it, I'm gonna wear it. If it's a turtleneck or if it's a crop top. So it's kind of like rebellion, even at 45, almost 46 years old. And I don't want my daughter feeling like that because she came in here with a midriff one day and a hoodie the next day because I'm allowing her to be who she is. She wanted to lock her hair because she don't like combing her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Let
That's
this,
solid conversation, ladies. And I always knew the Williams brothers didn't play. I always knew it, and I saw it. But we're
but
gonna
on
move
the
on to.
flip side, Mel, he's my best friend. He's a
I
Wait,
cool
love
I
it.
just wanted
dude.
to say
Oh,
something really, really quick.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so when you develop really super early, and when I say super early, I mean like 8 years old, I had a bra, and
That's all three of my girls.
and then I guess in a way when when I seen my daughter like at 7, and I knew I was kind of like wanting kind of like to if I could tape them down or kind of like prolong the puberty a little bit. So it is a stigma, and I don't know if it's just Western culture of shaming because my peers did not, and predominantly my peers were Caucasian, didn't have the body type that I had. So it was like
Same.
it's a shame and a guilt that's put inside of you, like I guess subconscious. And then, like I said, it didn't help that people in my family tend to body shame. So I really don't have a body type of other women in my family. So it's kind of like, oh, here she coming here with these big old breasts, and it was like
Right.
some people were complimenting them, but I was just so shameful of how I
Mm-hmm.
looked for so long. So it
Yep.
does come a point in your life that you do become liberated and just like, you know what? You may see me in a hoodie and like you may see me in a turtleneck one day. But I guess in a nutshell, I wear what I want to wear when I feel like wearing it.
Exactly.
And I'm old enough
Malika.
to kind of steer away from certain, I still get unwanted attention, but I know how to handle that. But I know when you're
Right.
younger, you don't have, and I've been put in that position that men thought I was much older than what I was. But some
Mm-hmm.
men, not all, knew by my conversation that I was a child. But there's
Mm-hmm.
some men out there that don't care about that
I
you
was
are a
about to say they
child.
didn't care.
Even because if I look like I may be 21, but however, my conversation is a Pokemon. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you kind of, so
Yeah.
it's just it's having those conversations with the
Yeah.
young things in your life that you care about.
No, I was
Yeah.
gonna, if
I
I
had a
can
bad
respond,
joke.
one of the theme that I'm seeing too here is, and this is why I go back to a conversation with parents, right? Like I think Amanda talked about the slushing, even from your dad, right? And saying he thought he was steering you in the right way, right? And you didn't mean to hurt you. The difference for me growing up was being treated like, do you know whose daughter you are, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
difference in the way that conversation hits. So when you're
Yeah.
told to
Mm-hmm.
carry yourself like royalty, right? You're
Same.
becoming a woman, and and it's not, you're not being shamed for having these curves. This is actually amazing. This is life. You're growing, you're becoming a woman, but carry yourself in this way.
A
So for me,
queen.
it was a different conversation.
Oh
And so
wow.
for me, it was geared towards more, you know what? If I cover myself head to toe, I can still have that sensuality about me.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
So it was much more different. So I'm gaining that insight from you both. Thank you for of saying, okay, let's, when we talk to our daughters, and for me, my son, it's like understanding that, what does that sensuality, what does that confidence look like, even when I'm covered head to toe? How do you
Mm-hmm.
carry and show that grace? How do you walk like you're gliding? And you take a look, yeah, you watch the monarchs, right? You watch them and how they carry themselves. I can wear the
Mm-hmm.
hats and everything and the fascinators and look amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And showing that, to me, for me, that removed the need to want to show skin. Then I didn't have to prove anything to anybody else because I knew who I was already.
Yeah.
And so as I was growing, especially when you're young, like you said, Malik, like as an older woman, you know how to handle yourself in some situations.
Mm-hmm.
As a young girl, you can get very confused, especially when there are people you've known since you were a child looking at you
Mm-hmm.
different. You don't know how to handle it when uncle is the one looking at you that way.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's why I think it is very crucial. And I'm glad that you're having these conversations, Amanda, and continue to have those checkpoints too. It is crucial because the things that happen to young girls biologically through those
Mm-hmm.
years, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I know. And I'm telling you, if you just having young girls 15, 13, and 9, they're almost 16, 14, and 10. It's crazy the things that go on in their head. And I have learned that I have to share my struggles too, because they look at you as superwoman, like you don't go through anything. Like I remember my daughter asking me, she was like, "You wearing shorts all of a sudden? Why are you wearing crop tops all of a sudden?" And what she didn't realize was one reason I didn't wear crop tops was, I have 4 children, right? I'm 45 years old. Do you know the hate I get just because I work out and I have abs?
Wear them crop
So
tops, please.
Yes,
see,
we
and,
are.
and right,
We
Tamara.
are.
But see, it took me a minute to get there. So I would pass another mom and I would be like, oh my God, I feel so bad for her. Her stomach doesn't look like mine. And then I got to the point where I was like, wait a minute, she ain't up at 4 a.m.
Correct.
Put
Like
Correct.
it on.
doing
Yep.
a doing 150 flights of stairs.
Correct.
You
Right.
know what I mean? So that's what I
You're
show my
fine.
daughters. If I want to wear a crop
Yeah.
top, I wear it. But they'll catch me in a 3-piece suit too,
Mhm.
because I want to wear that too. And
Mhm.
they'll catch me in a dress to my ankles that's
Mhm.
flowy with pockets, and you can't even
Mhm.
tell what's up under it because I feel
Mhm.
cute in it too.
Yeah.
But it took me a minute to get comfortable with my shape. And I know that's not people, when I say that to people, they think I'm crazy. They were like, oh, but girl, you bad. But it make it Malika gets it. It
Want
makes
to
you
just point it out
uncomfortable.
so much
Yes.
in a
I'm
negative
I'm still
manner.
struggling. I lost
Yeah.
50 pounds and people like, girl, you look good before and then after. I was like, I do. I struggle with this so
Mhm.
bad. And
Mhm.
Hmm.
I just met with someone the other day and they're gonna start helping me like take my fitness to another level because it's not just about looks for me, it's about my health. It's about
Right.
every woman in my family is a diabetic and I don't want to be that.
Right.
It's
Right.
about so many things. And
Right.
people say that I'm like, huh? But then I
I
do
and
have
I'm
my
a
days that
girl.
I'm
I'm a
like,
whole
yeah,
bodybuilder,
I'm all that. I don't
and
care. I'm
I'm
gaining
still not
confidence.
confident. I'm
Mhm.
still I'm still
Hey,
not
look,
confident. Like
I
even
love it. I love it.
in bodybuilding, I'm still not. Like
Oh man, let's move on to the next question. All right, we're gonna move on. Thank you. That's an amazing conversation, lady. Once again, uh, the next question is also intended to be left for interpretation. What is the difference in how a single woman dresses and a wife dresses? Kristen.
I feel like it's the same, because what I'm putting out, like the type of man I'm trying to attract, I'm gonna dress the same way single as I would when I, have a husband, because it's like, okay, he's not attracted to how I dress. He's attracted to who I am on the inside. And then I feel like as a married woman, you're still honoring him, because he shouldn't have to be fighting other people off of you because you draw so much attention to yourself that you need protection all the time. But guys are guys and everything like that. But no, me personally, I dress how I dress now, and I will continue to dress how I dress when I find somebody. So yeah.
Yep.
No doubt. Free.
Well, I subscribe to, if you're gonna show something up top, have the bottom. As a single woman, have bottom covered. I'm full disclosure. I am the high-waisted skinny jeans with my heels and a see-through shirt. That's what I wore last Friday night, and yes, I was revealing up top, but I was completely covered, and it does leave a little bit to the imagination. So as a single woman, as a divorced single woman, a mom, I kind of play with, okay, if I'm gonna show some legs, everything else is, I might have a turtleneck on, I might have a sweater. It's just fun. I have a little bit more fun. As a married woman, I would say before I even got married, older cousin of mine that had been married for maybe 20 years at the time, she just sat me down and had conversations about, you want to be a little more modest. You want to, cover yourself up. She's, instilled in me, well, you don't want to, be a old maid, but you do want to make sure you say that for him and have the conversation with him if it's, an event, or, just adjust as needed. But, as long as I was dressed and respectful, and like you said, as long as I'm not putting him in a situation where he has to defend my life, then yeah, it's okay to play with it too. But that's, I was taught, that's for him, and don't be putting all that out there. But I don't know how it will be the next time. So I would say I'm a little bit more in the middle now.
No doubt. Amanda, respect the order. I apologize, but we're gonna give to Bridget at this moment because she hadn't talked for a little minute. So, Bridget, take off.
I'm gonna go back to when I was married. It wasn't my ex-husband that cared too much about what I wore, because I was, I thought I was sexy. I had my little, So it was more his friends that would approach me and say, you need to change clothes, or you should do this, or you should do that. And I'm like, what? If my husband doesn't have a problem, you shouldn't have a problem. So that was how I felt at that time. But I also think it depends on the husband's confidence. How, because you can't marry a sexy woman and then all of a sudden expect her to be the church mouse. You can't expect that. You just cannot expect that. And no disrespect, in any way, but that's just not who I am. I don't go out dressing sexy, but I'm, I feel like I'm, I can capture attention if if I choose to, but it depends. Me personally, I'm not going to marry someone where I have to change who I am. I'm just not.
No doubt.
I'm going to always respect my husband, and respect who he is, but he has to respect who I am as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Tamara.
I think you're probably a little bit more mindful because you have to take him into consideration. We all know how guys are. So like if I'm out with him, I still look, I feel sexy, but I'm very mindful of the skin that I'm showing.
Mhm.
And I don't want to put him in a situation where he has to step in because a guy does not have self-control. Like I'm so as a wife, yeah, you do have to move a little bit differently to a degree because you're taking somebody else's safety into consideration. But I dress, the same. Like he met me in the crop top. He probably gonna die with me in the crop top. Okay. But I just don't think I think in general as a woman you should want to have a certain class about you, and you should operate whether you are single or if you're married. So it's not necessarily about whether you're a wife or if you're not a wife. It's just more about the type of energy and persona you're trying to give off in general as a woman. And I think that's really what it is, more so how is a wife supposed to act and how is a single woman. No, just act like a classy woman, pay it, read the room, understand the event that you're going to, understand who you with, and dress
Right.
accordingly. Like I just I just think that's all it is. So we'll just leave it at that.
If you had your way, would you be buried in the crop top? We're gonna go to
Make it a cute one though. It gotta be a cute one.
Malika.
So I was married for about 15, 16 years. So the time that I was married, I probably was a little bit more modest, only because I had a little bit more weight on me. But if I didn't, I probably would wear the same because he knew who he married. And I will be respectful and mindful. And like she said, I would read the room and the audience. I know if I went to one of his work events, I'm not going to come in there dressed a certain type of way.
Right.
So I'll be mindful of that. And of course, I won't ever put him in a situation that I'm just really out there showing way too much skin, dressed like, I'm a sex worker or something of that nature. So I'm mindful, but I wouldn't completely change my style and aesthetic because I am married. And now, if I decide to get remarried again, this is who I am. I'm pretty transparent, so I don't want to ever pretend that I'm someone that I'm not. But if a conversation ever took place that if he asked me to kind of step it down, I would respect my husband and do so. Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit now, bro. All right, Amanda.
I would just say be who you are. You know what I mean? I don't put up like these facades. Like I don't. I am who I am. So like, if you were attracted to me, then that's just who I am. So don't get with me and try to change me. But like Malika said, there's a certain respect that comes with the husband or potential husband, so I'll make certain adjustments. But I've had situations where I'm a bodybuilder. I posted certain pictures, you liking and loving the pictures, but then when we get together, then now the pictures are a problem. No, that attracted you. No, that attracted you, so now it can't be a problem now. So I just say be 100% who you are, and I am. I'm 100% who I am. So if you accept that initially, then that's a you problem. If that's not really what you wanted, you know what I mean? So I mean, if you accepted me and we need to make some adjustments, and I'm willing to do that all day long. But I'm not changing. I'm not changing who I am. But I'm not gonna pretend to be somebody I'm not. So then that's something I gotta try to keep up. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So if I'm being 100, you accept me as 100%. So when we take it to the next level, then you try to change. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Adjust. We can make some adjustments,
Right.
but we're not changing. We're not changing what you've already accepted.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Right.
That sounds like a slogan. Sharitha.
It did.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, since I'm the last one that I guess I think addressed this, I
Joyce. Joyce got it.
okay. Well, the majority, I'm just pretty much going to sound like an echo chamber, but I really don't think there's a difference at all. For most women, their creativity is embodied in their style. be it your hair, clothes, accessories. I mean, it's really about where that particular woman's head is. So, and I think, most of you have said that already. Is she secure enough with herself to wear certain types of clothing? I've been married twice and I never changed my wardrobe for either husband. I was pretty much like, take me as I am or don't at all. There was no, oh, you're married now, so the dress code has changed. No, 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 no. I have not changed my style. So if I want to rock some tights with a t-shirt and, or as you ladies have said, the crop tops or whatever, I don't know. I think I hung up the crop tops once I crossed the 45-year-old threshold. I'm 51. So there's just some things where you start getting out of shape a little bit when you hit this age. But I have not changed my style. And so, I feel like my style of dress attracted you. So there's no difference. I mean, I wouldn't want to pass any judgment based on someone's marital status. I think it's just all about how the woman feels about herself and what she's comfortable in. And a man expecting that to change after the I do's are exchanged is asking for some serious smoke. But again, we do have to use our judgment, our best judgment, because we have to understand and take into consideration male biology and psychology, and some do not have the ability to separate. They have a part of their brain that kicks in at that in overdrive, and so we do have it's a tough balancing act, but that's it in a nutshell.
Sharitha, if you don't mind, if you don't feel comfortable with this, let me know. Do you mind providing a little context to your current marriage that may lead to think that may make you want to change or have to change?
No, actually, I didn't know how much time we were going to have, but it's an interesting dynamic for me, especially because my husband is Muslim and I'm not, and a lot of people. I mean, I don't follow any particular religion. I'm just more, spiritual. But it's an interesting, twist, because a lot of people's like, are you gonna start wearing the hijab and all this other thing, and covering up? And I was like, did I cover up before him? Like, no, that I'm not changing me. And so that was again the talk and the conversation that was had beforehand. It's like this is who I am, bruh. Like I can't. I'm not going to be jumping through hoops and switching up and changing. It's just that's not going to happen. I was willing to bend certain things early on because I was young and naive, really, really young, and I didn't know any better. But little age do something to you. There's certain things that you just you feel deep down inside that you have to honor about yourself and what you want to do. And if somebody wants to pass judgment on that, then so be it. But I don't let it slip that away from me, that I still need to remember the world that I live in. Right. And, men, it's not about feeling like, oh, this man, some women want to dress for that attention. But if you want attention and you're not dressing just because you like what you have on and you feel good in it, you might bring the wrong attention. You're going to bring some attention, but it might not be the attention that you're looking for. So it's a balancing act. But yeah, concerning my husband and my marriage now, that covering up and changing styles and things. No, I meant what I said.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's just a talk you have to have in the beginning. And if somebody is not okay, if he's not okay with that, sorry, bro, you can go work that out somewhere else. But this is me, this is who I am, and I'm good over here.
Love it. Joy.
Oh my. Um, so I think I'm with everyone in the sense that yes, it's about you. I will give a little bit more, I guess, color to it. Is that if I go off of my Christian background, I've been married before too. Is that the top commandments too, right? Love your Lord your God with all your heart, your mind, all of that, but then love your neighbor as yourself. So the order means I have to love myself first to know how to love my neighbor. So whether you're the mister, it does not matter in the regards that have I loved myself and respected myself first before I start looking to what you want. Yet when you ladies are talking about adjustments, I'm going, what do you mean by you adjust? Because for me, if we're keeping true to ourselves, I think from my point of view, the only adjustment that's left is with our age, like we've said. I'm in my 40s now. I think both parties need to leave room for adjustments based on the evolution, right? As we age, as our bodies change. So even the man could start out wanting you to be very sexy and tomorrow go, no, that's not really what I want my wife to look like. And to leave room for that because he's evolving too. And that's why he's asking that, as long as he's asking politely and having a conversation, not telling you. Same one for the woman too. So I think conversation is crucial in the beginning, but there should be a constant conversation as we grow together, as we evolve together. My exes have wanted me to dress a bit more sexier, and I'm going, to you that's sexier, to me that's uncalled for. But we're having the conversation, right? I think sexy is keeping it in the home. I can dress, I could be Victoria's Secret if you want, I can model and strut that. I don't think that's necessary outside. And if a man feels the need to parade his wife like a trophy outside for others to validate or give him a high five for having this wife, there is a problem there. And that is his problem to resolve and not mine.
Well said. I know we pretty much agreed on that, but do anyone have any response to anyone else's comment? Oh, see, women can get along. Let's move on to
So
our
funny.
last question of the day. What message would you like to share with young girls of today and their family as they navigate through the current standards of modesty? We're going to start with Free.
Stay off social media. Because when I think of how my life went and how a lot of women's life went, we did not get our influence from social media.
Yeah.
We got our influence from a mom or a grandmother or an aunt or a father. We got our influence on how we dressed modestly by people in our lives, not by the world. So
Hmm.
I would say don't get that influence from the world. I agree. Have the conversation with your parents. Have
Yeah.
the conversation with your family members, your school teachers. Talk to people within your sphere of life and keep readjusting to that conversation in the way that looks as you go through life, as you go through the environments. I'm big on, like someone said earlier, read the room, scan the environment and learn and adjust accordingly. But social media and just the world's opinion should not dictate what someone wears. I believe, Amanda, you said if you feel good, if you're just wearing it because you want to wear it because you want to wear it.
Hmm.
Don't do it because the world says that's how you should do it.
Lovely. Amanda.
Just what she said. Like it should be all about you. I teach, my daughters that it is. It's all about you. They have the same mother and the same father, but you couldn't tell it because they're all different. And I allow that. I allow that. We don't do social media. But people often ask me, how do you get your kids not to do social media? Because we do so much other stuff. It's an afterthought.
Hmm.
They know it's there, but we draw. I tell them, go Google your favorite artist, your favorite whatever. See what they're wearing. Come up with your own style. So if you're busy doing that, you don't really have time for social media. So I exposed them to the same things that I was exposed to. So it puts them in the same position that you all were when you were like your mom, your auntie, you're this person, you're that person. That's who they're looking to for fashion. Now they're still like they have their ear to the street. They know what's going on, but that's not their source. They look at me for fashion. You know what I mean? So it's just, truly allowing them to be who they are. But I don't allow the social media thing. But I've never in my house said you can't get on Instagram. I don't have to push that narrative. You know why? Because they're artists and they draw. So they got it. They have drawing tablets. They have every type of pencil. They have sketchbooks. You know what I mean? Whatever they show interest in, I feed into that. So there's no boredom to where they feel like they have to go to that. So I don't even have to say that. I've said it and I've explained why. But in the meantime, I'm providing things, not just to fill time, but that caters to their interests. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like it's really about. You got to let your kids be who they are. And sometimes that ain't easy because, like, I don't want you to have red locks and wear black all the time. But if that's what you want to do, I let you do that. But guess what? I didn't say anything. I bought the red dye, I bought the black clothes, and then eventually you didn't even wear that anymore. You didn't even want to do that anymore. But if I had pushed that, I still think we would have been in red locks and all black clothes. Let them be who they are. Just structure it.
Just structured. Nice. Malika.
My message to young ladies and young women is put God first, love yourself.
Definitely.
Um, Most definitely only have people in your universe in your life that value you authentically. Don't sell yourself cheap.
Yeah.
You're priceless. Um, and really just honor who you are and try not to waste your time with people that don't value you. Your time is something you can't get back. And don't beat yourself up over mistakes you made. Just wash your face, start all over. It's a new day. When you know better, you do better. We all fall short.
Mhm.
Yep.
We for Tamara.
Ah, yeah, this is a social media age, so I just it I feel like, girls should have a more understanding of what's appropriate and what's not appropriate based on their age. So definitely take heed to what your elders are saying, especially the women in the family. We've been there, we know it. We know the reactions we get from the opposite sex, and so when we're telling y'all certain things, it's for a reason, but it's never meant to stifle, your sense of style. Like, you should definitely have fun. That is a form of art to me. Expressing yourself, and expressing yourself does not mean you have to show all skin. Okay, that's not what that means. You should be able to cover yourself and style that bad boy like it's, like you just really got it going on. You can play up your curves without necessarily showing everything. Don't let TikTok, Instagram, Facebook make you feel like you have to dress like everybody else. Try to make yourself unique. Don't be like everybody else. You can get inspiration from people, but add your own twist to it. Have fun with clothes. Wear what makes you comfortable. Um, and that's what I'm all about. I wear what makes me comfortable. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Good stuff. Bridget.
Um, just be true to yourself. Be free. Feel free to talk to your parents. I want to go back to Amanda. It seems like you have a great relationship with your girls. I mean, I commend you. They're not on social media. They're artists. And your other daughter, I don't know which one it was,
Straight
but
A students.
I love it. I love it. And she recognized the guy in Walmart. She recognized that he was up to no good. a lot of young girls wouldn't recognize that. So I feel like teenagers today, they don't freely speak to their parents, and parents need to be more open as well, so their kids can feel comfortable and coming to them to talk, to have a real conversation about life, and not sugarcoat everything, or not sugarcoat anything, because this life is not sugarcoated at all. They need to be comfortable in how they dress, how they speak, not feel pressured with people that's at school, their peers at school. Just be who you are. That's it.
Love it, love it. Well said. Sarita.
Okay, I am very conflicted when it comes to this topic, but to answer the question, I guess is just on the one hand, I feel that women should be free enough, young girls, they should be free enough to express themselves how they want and see fit. But on the other hand, you have to take into account there's inherent danger lurking everywhere. And of course, you guys can like hear a theme now with this from all of us saying we have to be careful and mindful. And so I would just say, in light of that, and especially too, that danger could be right within their own home with all the instances of, incest and SA and all of that stuff, which results in the need for young girls to hide or cover themselves as a means of protection. So, I never understood that. That is so weird to me that we now have to cover and protect ourselves from the very men charged with our protection. Go figure that. It's just, it's a bit unsettling, but I keep hammering in at that point because I was a victim of, sexual assault before, and I know others that have been. And again, I just wish I had known then what I know now with regard to understanding all of this, male and female nature and biology is so important because dress, men think differently. Their brains process differently, very visual, right? I think we all can agree that males are just very visual creatures. Mm-hmm. So it's a balancing act. And to that, that's the advice I would give, be free enough, to do you and express yourself. But keep in mind, there's another side to this being free. Put that in quotes, and, you can't ignore that. And it's great too, like Amanda, I know I don't have any daughters. I have sons. So, I have to go upside their head the way I need to with respecting women and learning to control urges. And if they feel like, they're in situations where then, I talk to them from that aspect. Their father does.
Well, I appreciate that as a mother of daughters. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I don't cover, I know and understand their nature and their biology. And so I address it accordingly. And I don't pretend to act like they're innocent or I know they're looking, at these women and doing whatever. And, I know. And, I do try to stay on top of that with them and give them the female's perspective inside of what it is that goes down when they let their drive and nature take over. So I'm more concerned about them being the protectors that they have been held in the regard to be. So it kind of starts there, but ladies, continue to do what you're doing with your daughters. That is so important. And, but I just want to put emphasis on male nature is so different from female. We can live in a fantasy land all we want in our heads about, I'm gonna wear what I want and I don't care what nobody say. We gotta be careful with that.
No doubt. Every time you say male, I'm thinking you're talking about me. Joy.
Oh gosh, I have to say, I don't know how many of you remember when Janet Jackson, I can't remember that video where her midriff, you
Yes.
remember? And
Yes.
everybody's, oh, she was naked. She was cute. And I saw her, I was like, as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh. And then everyone was in an opera. And I'm like, oh my gosh, today she's pressing there going, uh-huh. So it's just interesting how far we've come with showing skin and what that means. And it's kind of sad to me that the aunties and the grandmas, I mean, especially on Instagram, everyone is showing wearing the bikinis. I'm 72, I'm 50, I'm 40, all naked. And so you don't really have the examples that we had growing up as to how you should carry yourself. And it's like, oh, women empowerment. So let's show skin. It's okay. But to your point, Sharita, then there are other consequences. It's not that we're trying to stifle this freedom and the creativity that you have, but there's a balance that needs to go into it. But Mel, I did write a little note, so I'm going to read if you don't mind. So to parents, I said, the exposure to knowledge or the lack thereof of decades ago has changed. The world has become desensitized to decency, respect, and godly love. It is your duty as parent to teach, guide, shelter, and provide the right foundation for your little girl to witness what a loving relationship with herself looks like. Little girl, your body is sacred, royal, one of a kind. Nudity is not empowerment. Exposing yourself for lustful eyes and gratification is not strength. Learning to exude sensuality, confidence, and humility in an uncorrupted or lascivious way is the true superpower. My role is to raise a son that will see your strength, not through indecent displays, but through the eyes of your father. A young woman that needs a partner that will respect her, encourage her ambitions, her calling, and her well being without feeling threatened or the need to control her. One that will cover her, lift her up, and honor her as a daughter of the King of Kings. He cannot do that if he does not do the same for himself, understanding who he is and what role he is to play in your life. And that's my note.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was
Absolutely beautiful.
amazing.
Kristen, wrap us up here.
I feel like that verse, train a child in the way they should go and they won't depart from it. I think that just sums everything up so well, because you're training them and how to dress when they're young. And, they take that with them through adulthood, and they respect their bodies as a child. Then they'll respect their bodies and cover themselves up and dress accordingly as adults. And so to the families as well, it's like, okay, the parents be examples, because they're looking up to you. They're seeing how you dress and everything like that. So it's not like, oh, I'm a mom, I'm free, I can do whatever. Like, be an example to that child so that they know what to follow. And yeah, just like deposit that into them while they're young, so that's what they can take with them. When I was in high school, I just remember it was just all these, I don't know the better way to put it, but it was just these ghetto hood girls. And, I was just like, I don't want to be nothing like them. I don't want to dress like them. I don't want to talk like them. If they over here on the left, I'm coming to the right. And so everything started to shift in my mind where I'm just like, I got to be countercultural. And then I had my head in the word. I was reading my Bible. And so I'm just like, okay, whatever is the broad way, like, I'm doing what's narrow. Like, and so I know I'm, more on the conservative side, but when you have that foundation on the inside, you it's not just how you dress. It's like you act accordingly. So I think that would help, because it's not focusing on, well, what do I wear? What do I not wear? What line can I cross? What line can I not cross? But just really putting God first. Like, I think, I can't remember who said that, but if you put God first, it's not about clothes. It's just about, letting God direct you in everything. What you wear, how you carry yourself, how you talk to people, just everything, because it's about being classy.
I love it. I love it. Ladies, thank you so much for this amazing conversation. You guys helped me out, if not anyone else, but I'm sure that everyone watching this will be able to gain some type of knowledge and insight in how y'all beautiful but yet crazy minds work. We appreciate this so much. It's been another great show. Thank you so much, audience, for watching this. Hope you guys have a great day. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mel. Thank you for joining my channel. Thank you for checking things out here. Oftentimes, we go on people's pages and are like, man, what is going on here? What is the purpose of this channel? So let me be clear. The purpose of this channel is to speak truth regarding the nuclear family. And when I say truth, I'm not saying my truth, not your truth, but the Lord's truth. All about the word, all about the ways and the will of God. What does he have to say about the nuclear family? And I believe the generations of today, whether it be Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Y, whatever the case may be, I believe now we have a very toxic relationship regarding marriage, regarding family, regarding having children. We're in a toxic dynamic as we speak. And honestly speaking, a lot of the answers that we're looking for in our community, a lot of the cures and a lot of the answers will come from a proper, fulfilled family home. If you go down the line of everyone's individual trauma, there you will find some negligence or some type of issue that they had with their parents. So here on this channel, we address those things head on. We don't place fear in those issues and avoid the topic. We do what Jesus did. And when he said, don't assume that I came for peace, but I came with a sword. I came to turn family members against family members if it means you following me. If you have to cut them off, if you have to address them and have arguments for you to follow me, so be it. And I think at this point in our society, we're at the so be it stage. So here at Life Coaching by Mel, I'm all about bringing healing to that. And the number one way to do that is have honest conversations. So if that's something you like, that's something you're into, that's something you really want to be a part of, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to comment. Let me know what you think about everything. I do my best to respond as often as I can. I want to hear from you guys. This is not about me. It's about healing our nation, healing our states, healing our cities, healing our community, healing our homes. Love you guys. Take care.
Let's go.